Hi, today we're talking about 6.2 saving and investing. This is when your money earns money for you, called interest. Let's look at the vocabulary. Simple interest is money earned, calculated using interest equals principal times rate times time. P is principal, or the original money invested or saved. R is rate, the percent earned on principal expressed as a decimal. T is time in years. Compound interest is interest that's added back into your original principal, calculated using A equals P parentheses 1 plus R parentheses to the T power. It is added into your account. Therefore, to find interest, you have to take your amount in your account and subtract the principal, and that'll be the interest amount. Amount in the account is called A. Remember, interest is money earned. The good thing about interest is it is on your star chart at the very bottom. We have both of these formulas. So I strongly suggest that you circle the plus, because what that means is that your principal is added into the amount. There's no plus in plain simple interest, so it is just the interest when you use this formula. We're going to look at the first example. Aiden makes regular deposits to a saving account to save money for college. He deposits $1,000 at the start of each year into an account that pays 4% simple interest at the start of each year. He does not deposit the interest. How much interest does Aiden's account earn the first year? So we write our formula. We substitute principal times the rate, which is 4%, times the time, which is 1. On your calculator, that looks like this. I show my kids to do this. 1,000 times 4% is 4 divided by 100 times 1. That's how I show my kids how to enter a percent. You will see percents written as decimals before they're put into the formula, so just be aware of that. The answer is $40. So Aiden's account earns $40 the first year. Let's look at Lily's account. Lily makes regular deposits into a savings account to save money for retirement. She deposits $1,000 each year, and her account earns interest that's compounded annually at a rate of 4%. So how much interest does Lily earn the first year? Well, we write our formula for compound interest. A equals P parentheses 1 plus R to the T power. Fill in your numbers. 1,000 is principal. Put your times sign right beside your parentheses 1 plus our percent rate. Again, that's 4% to the power of T. And then let me show you how to type that in your calculator. I tell my kids to go from left to right. So 1,000 times parentheses 1 plus 4 divided by 100. Parentheses to the first power, caret 1. And then when you enter that, that's going to be the total amount she has in her account. So the total in her account is $1,040. Take away the principal, and that's going to give you the interest only, which is $40. So the first year they make the same amount of money. On the back of our notes, suppose you have two savings accounts, both with a principal of $100, an interest rate of 5%, but one earns simple interest and one earns interest compounded annually. Which account will earn more interest after 10 years? In 8th grade, we will always compound annually, so don't worry about compounding any other way than that. Well, we start with our step 1, our formula for simple interest. I equal PRT. The principal is 100. The rate is 5%. Again, sometimes they go ahead and do 5 divided by 100 ahead of time. Our time is 10 years. When we type that in, we get $50. The account earns simple interest of $50. To go on, when we're earning the compound interest, we write our compound formula. Principal is 100. Our rate, again, is 5%, but they went ahead and typed it in as 0.05. To the 10 power, don't forget we're adding our principal in on this one. So when we do that in our calculator, we get $162.89. But if we're asked for principal only, we have another, for interest only, we have another step. To find interest, you have to subtract the principal from the amount earned, and that is going to get you $62.89. So annually, compounding is $62.89. Simple interest is only $50. So you're going to earn more when you compound your interest because the interest goes back into the account automatically. Compare the interest earned in each account. The account that earns interest compounded annually earns more, $12.80 more than the simple interest earned. You try example 6 and pause and then come right back and check it. In Marlena's account, could you find the principal, the rate, and the time? And then they wanted to do both compound and simple interest and compare those. So let's write our formulas and fill in our information. So for simple interest, we filled in 50 times 3.5% times 10. For compound interest, we filled in 50 times parentheses 1 plus 3.5% parentheses to the 10th power. Type it in your calculator and see who gets more. Did you find the simple interest was $17.50? We still don't know the interest on the compound account because we have the total in the account, not just the interest. So in order to find the interest, we're going to take the amount and subtract the principal. The amount that we have is $70.53 minus her original principal, which was $50. That gives her account interest $20.53. So that is how much more? Let's subtract these two. $20.53 minus $17.50 is $3.03. So to go back and answer the question, she would earn $3.03 more. Thank you for listening. Not quite done. I wanted to talk to you for a minute about Aiden's year 2. In year 2, Aiden is not going to have $1,000 anymore. He's going to start with $2,000 because he had $1,000, but remember, he added $1,000 every single year. He's going to multiply that. He still gets 4%, and it's still going to be yearly because he adds every year. So when you type this in, you get $80 for the second year in interest. So it goes up quite a bit when his when his principal grows. Let's look at Lily's second year. For year 2 with Lily, she's going to start with her $2,040. That was her previous balance plus her $1,000 that she adds every year. Parentheses 1 plus, she still gets 4%. It's still a power of 1 because it is a yearly account. So she will have a total of, in year 2, $21,2160. But that's not all interest. Let's subtract out her principal, $20.40, and that gave her an interest the second year of $81.60. So you can see that compound interest does grow a little bit more quickly than does simple. Over the 2 years, you can see that Aiden earned $120 in interest so far, and you can see that over the 2 years, Lily earned $121.60 over the 2 years. What factors affect how much interest you earn? Think about that. We'll discuss in a moment. Thank you. One more thing. How are simple and compound interest alike, and how are they different? They both have principal, they both have interest, they both have time. But on a simple interest, use the formula, you only find interest. On compound interest, when you use the formula, you find the amount in the account. So to find interest, you have to subtract out the principal from the answer.